Who do they think's gonna come along? Lucky for me, I get more than one chance when I'm cutting a television spot. Top, I don't supposed to say top. The redesigned Ultima with a Nissan, with A, and remember to Grant turned the advertising over to me in 1997. I hated our advertising. We had the star car of the week. And I can remember going around to all the stores. How many star cars did you sell this week? One, none, and it just drove me nuts. I had a customer, Mickey DeHook, he used to be the chief of police of Heston, Kansas. He calls me one day and he comes in, Dawson, PSAs. I said, what the hell is a PSA? Public service announcement. You could talk about drinking and driving. You could talk about wearing your seatbelts. You could talk about child safety seats. Mickey, you don't need to talk about it anymore. I got one problem. I got to go into that guy's office that's been a car guy for 50 years that calls me every Saturday night and says, how many? I got to go talk to him and tell him I'm going to spend his advertising budget on public service announcements. I knocked on his door. I can still remember it like it happened yesterday. My heart was pounding. He had a buzzer on his door that would let you in if he wanted to let you in. He had a camera. He could see who it was. Bzzz, the door opened. I thought, oh. Walked in, he was sitting in his black, big leather chair, had his hands behind his head like this. And he said, what do you want, Dawson? I'm busy. I still to this day wished I'd ask him what he was busy doing. But I explained to him what I wanted to do. And he said, do you think it's the right thing to do? And I said, yeah. And he said, then do it. Proper use of seat belts and child safety seats save lives. Make sure you're doing all you can to protect your children. Buckle up the ones you love and bring them to our safety seat check. When I got to work, it was raining. There were cars lined up at the service drive to have their child seats checked. One of the highway patrolmen that was checking the seats said, come here, Dawson. It was the gal's car. She had a little infant. She had it facing the wrong way. And he said, take the top of that seat and push it up into the front seat. Boom, and it hit the front seat. And he said, that's why we're doing this. He said, if that lady would have slammed on her brakes or gotten in an accident, it would have severely injured this little baby or killed this little baby. And I thought, oh, every one of the seats we checked was incorrectly installed. I think that if you're in business in Wichita, that it's your corporate responsibility to help out charitable organizations. You can't help them all out, but the ones you do help out, if you didn't, then they couldn't survive and they couldn't do the things they do. It creates a culture in the company, and it also creates a culture elsewhere. Businesses see you doing it, they see the kind of visibility it creates for you, and they want to do it. 15 or 20 years ago, the car dealers were not very charitable, and now they're a lot more charitable. For a long, long time, we were the only car dealer in Wichita that had a United Way campaign. Now, how crazy is that? Everybody ought to have a United Way campaign. Everybody ought to raise money because they help Wichita. And I feel like it's my responsibility, Davis Moore's responsibility. Michelle used to laugh at me. She used to say, Dawson, the more money we make, the more money you can give away. Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
When he would come to work, he would bounce through the office, talking to everybody, calling everybody their nicknames. And I'd ask him every morning, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
The Orpheum, America's first atmospheric theater, part of the famous Orpheum circuit. What a place,
He really took his time getting to know the organization, its needs, its value to the community. You know, without really being formally asked, he made a 7-figure gift commitment. That's a dream donor.
One of the things about Wichita, it's growing, and it's growing fast. And there's a lot of businesses in Wichita that are profitable, that are successful because of the people that live in Wichita. And the more businesses and business people and individuals that give back to whatever the cause might be, that's what we need to see happening. Because I promise you one thing, it's tough sometimes. There's a lot of people that won't turn loose of that money. They're afraid, oh, I can't turn loose of it. Turn loose of it, give it away, and watch the results. You can't help everyone, but you can pick your causes and help them out and see the results of the money or the time and effort that you give them. You'll be a better person, and you'll be a happier person, and you'll help really thousands and thousands of people. So do us all a favor this spring and keep your butt in the car.